Good morning, Mary. How are
Hello,
you?
everyone.
I'm fine.
Hi, Frank.
Hey,
Hello. Hi, Ron. Did I hear Mary? Oh, there's Mary. Hi,
Mary's here
Mary.
too.
Yes, I'm here. I was going to say to Cindy, are things settled down at your place?
Things are settled down better, and she got to be home last night, and so we were able to take the kids home. And baby's doing fine, and she's doing great. And
Good.
so I've had 2 naps already today.
Okay. You deserve them.
Well, we had a new little grandbaby a week ago, and I was there for the birth, and that was all great. But then she had an infection, and so the mother had an infection. So it was kind of scary there for a while. So we were having the other little kids here all the time and going back and forth to kind of support everybody. So I'm tired.
I can understand.
But I finished the sweater, Ron, and they've got it, and they're supposedly taking pictures right now. I blocked it. It just, I love how that yarn blocks out. It is so
Isn't it
nice.
something? It's really just, I love it.
Mhm.
Which yarn was it?
It's Coastline by Jody Long.
Ah,
Yeah.
Here's
Here's
turn my light
here's
on, even
mine.
though it never quite shows me nicely. Oh, here, I forget I can do
Cindy,
this.
is that the
Here's-
wisteria? Is that what you used for wisteria?
This
for
is the,
Ron's?
mine was the parasol.
Yeah,
Parasol was the one I did.
this should give you a good look at it.
What's the
Turn
name of
the-
that yarn?
Coastline by Jody Long. It's a caged yarn. I don't know. It's a very special caged yarn. It's got a blend of cotton and linen on the outside, and the inside is like a very thin nylon and viscose cord.
Mhm.
oh,
So I can pull some out.
There you go.
Oh, that's
look at
wonderful.
that.
It's just like
And it is. It's just.
Pen.
It's nice to knit with. It's soft and squishy, and it just.
The
It
stitches
feels
look
good
so
in your hand, and
nice.
it just makes a lovely fabric.
Yeah.
And you,
I-
you
I
used
glad
that
you like
yarn
that,
for the
'cause
test knit, Cindy?
Yes, I did. That was what was specified in the pattern, and so that's what I used.
It's always dicey specifying a yarn that is new on the market and uncommon because
Mhm.
it's very distinctive. It's not a typical
Well,
yarn,
and
but-
sometimes we wouldn't try it if we didn't. We might not do it if we didn't try it. We
Right.
wouldn't know about it.
and that's part of why I always keep samples of things like that. But it just the shaping, the sleeve cap looks so crisp and nice in it, and
Mhm.
it really makes the sleeve cap a feature of the dress, of the little tunic. It just looks
Well, and the way the lace blocked out too, it didn't get all stretchy or weird or anything, but you see those lines like the wisteria twist. It was like, it's so cool. It was very neat.
I've been working on the final
Oh, very
Oh,
good.
okay.
Very good. The final
my
little
last-
pattern.
my last
looks
line
great.
of graphic design because I'm a graphic design amateur, but I like my things to look very polished.
Well, and they do look really nice, and it was very
Which
And-
needles did you work that
Your
yarn?
explanations were very friendly.
4.5.
4.5 millimeters.
Yes,
Okay.
not
Thank you.
4.5 inches.
No.
Or US 4.5. I don't know they make such a thing.
So US 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so-
Ron, did you want me to take more pictures?
That would be great.
Who's taking the pictures?
Oh, sorry, Frank. I'm hiding behind my photo because I never am live on the
Oh.
internet.
Well, who are you?
I tested it too, but
It's
I just
Sue.
use 100%
Sue.
wool.
Oh,
It's because I knew it wasn't going to anyone.
Hi, Mary.
I don't have any small people.
It's also and yours looks really, really good as well. You had a dye lot issue, right? So this
I know. Could you believe that? It's
it
so
happens.
drastic. Same dye lot, same everything, same
Yeah.
order, same
At
shipment.
least
And
see
it looks
like
like
it's
two
right-
different colors.
It looks like a design. Do you mind if I show everyone the photo?
Oh, no, that's fine. It was just a really, pardon my French, a crappy photo, wet, laying on the, just to let him know that I had finished knitting and it was out of the bath.
Let me get this out and show everyone. Where is Sue?
But
There
I'm
she
just going to
is.
donate it, but I didn't want to do that until I made sure if you wanted any photos staged somehow.
Yeah,
but-
photos are always very helpful.
okay.
Yeah, if any of you are like,
But Frank, that was my first Frank-ish.
Frank.
Well, I don't know how, because it was the first, I don't know how much was Ron and
The
how much
construction
was,
that is the Phrancko technique is 100% Phrancko. The only
okay,
thing
that
I
was my
did
first
differently-
official Franco then.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mhm.
my only alterations were the hem treatments at the sleeves and neck, and the lace. Everything else is, oh dear.
Yeah, that's a terrible
too
picture.
Let me turn down my brightness.
You can do whatever you need to, but I
There you
just basically wanted to say it's finished knitting and here it is, wet thrown on the table. But yeah, I couldn't
You can
believe,
see.
if you could see where I picked up the sleeves with a new skein,
Oh, yeah.
same
You
exact everything.
Yeah, you can see that.
It looks, but luckily it's even, it's symmetrical, so it looks like just a little cream colored contrast. And on the neckline here too, right?
Yes, and it actually does look a little bit better now that it's dry, but it's
Good.
to
I
us.
think it looks just lovely. I think it really looks quite nice. And you enjoyed knitting the Phrancko part? Because yeah, I didn't.
Oh,
change-
it was amazing. I was stunned in disbelief. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
change one
does it
bit
really
of
work?
those instructions. Those were all the instructions as Frank gave them to me, just reformatted and with some of my written explanation.
I've never been a fan of picking up stitches for doing a sleeve. I've never been able to get it pristine enough for me. I'm very picky, and that just made it beautiful.
Good.
I'm so glad.
Now I
yeah,
just
I'm
have to get
hoping-
measurements so I can knit sweaters Franco for everyone else.
I've got a few people who've
Yes.
come in and seen the shop sample and are waiting for the pattern.
Mhm.
And one of them emailed me last week, just like, "Is it ready yet?" And no, it's not ready yet. Test knitters are still test knitting, and I'm still formatting. It takes a while.
As soon as you get it on there, I told you I'm going to buy it anyway.
I appreciate that very much.
I have to support everyone.
Yeah,
Well, it
so-
knits really fast, Ron. I mean, even with Ashley having the baby and having to take a bunch of days off, I only did 12, it was only 12 days. And I
that's
did the
why
4T size.
I used a fairly simple lace pattern, just an
Mhm.
8-stitch repeat, but it's got a lot of bang for the buck.
Oh, I like that. I'd never
um,
done a left-leaning twisted double decrease before.
Oh my gosh.
neither had
It's
I.
not hard though. But
Yeah.
it reminds me of how the trunk of a wisteria would actually twist and look. It has that
Boy.
shape. It's
It
just
didn't
really
have
cool.
a name until I was done with it. The reason I do those decreases, so the facing stitch of the decrease isn't twisted. The two underneath are twisted, and that makes it lay a little flatter
Mhm.
than a normal
Right.
decrease. It looks a little more interesting in the back behind those stitches.
Yeah, it does.
And
It is. It's kind of, it's
relief,
just a
but
neat
it's not
thing.
like a ridge.
Right. No,
Um,
it's really nice.
But it wasn't until I was done with the lace and looking at the thing like, okay, now I got to title this. It's like I'm at the end of the paper and now I have to write a title. So yeah, I spent today doing the last graphics, reading through everything again, checking that all my page XXs were now a page
Yeah.
number.
Placeholders.
Yeah, all the placeholder text. So, but it's good. I like just seeing two of them and having it, knowing that it's your first time making one, Sue. That's great because that's exactly what I wanted. That's why I wanted to put it out. I wanted to get more people to approach the method, right? The seamless set and sleeves method. Because I've noticed for some people the thought of like designing their own sweater, just like going in and taking the measurements and putting it in, is a little bit overwhelming. But they come and see a little baby sweater and they're immediately taken by it because it's small and it's cute. And so I'm hoping the response will be good here in the shop. I've already got people waiting for it. And yeah, if you guys will share it, I hope that you will.
I think a lot of designers could benefit from having novices do the testing, not in the fact that I'm just learning to knit, but if you get someone who's done any sweater before or anything like that, they tend to automatically do things if it's not even written in the pattern.
Yeah.
Whereas if you have someone who's trying something newly, they're able to rely on your words. And if it actually does make sense, it'll work for them.
And between a lot of the local knitters here, having been in a workshop with Frank, having worked on the little knit along before this, and having people come into the shop who are either came to it a little later or saw it promoted on the YouTube or are working through one of Suzanne's courses, people who've come into the shop with it, I've got a good idea of where people not either think they're going to have a hang up or are having a hard time parsing something for themselves. And generally the answer is just slow down and read it. 9 times out of 10, they've had the right idea, but just wanted to double check with a human looking at them. So that's giving me a good idea of where people need a little bit of extra squeezing to get them going.
Right.
So I'm glad that you had a good time.
And I think the only thing I asked you about were the increases that were stacked there, because when you're lifting like that, sometimes it can get a little snug when you've lifted the one without a row in between, and I don't remember exactly what section that was in.
That was in the diagonal part of the underarm increase, where you increase the row.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to apologize to Ron because I had asked him about the provisional cast on under the underarm, and honestly, the sweater patterns that I've done that before, they use the working yarn cast on provisionally, so it never comes out. And so I took a picture, not understanding the waste yarn. Don't ever knit under the influence of a migraine and on medication. And then email.
Good suggestion.
Because I'm like, wait, the working yarn's on my right needle and you want me to cast on my left needle, and I had 3 balls of yarn attached, and I'm like, this is not right.
I happened to not be under the influence of migraine medication at that time, so I was just that's exactly right. You got it exactly right.
I see
Your way was
Kathy's
so much
hand is up.
easier.
Kathy, did you have a question or a comment?
Yes, unmute myself, it says. Yeah, it was just a quickie for Ron. I was wondering if you made up that lace pattern, or if it was like a Barbara Walker.
Yeah, that was me playing around in stitch fiddle and then swatching and then deciding that I didn't like a central double decrease. I didn't like a knit 3 together. I didn't like a knit 3 together through the back loop. I didn't like a slip knit, and landing on, I don't know what was with me that week.
I think it's
Any of those
beautiful.
would have been just fine.
It is. It's
I
nice.
think it's really beautiful. I just like it a lot.
Yeah, so it basically looks like a fishtail lace, but narrow.
Yeah.
So it's just a really narrow fishtail lace, nothing to it. But yeah, that was me in stitch fiddle doodling.
Yeah, here's the picture of mine.
Just a minute. Let me get you in the
It's
spotlight.
blocked. Okay, here we go.
Spotlight.
Here it is
There you
blocked.
go.
Here we go.
There it is.
Now hold it
But see
very
how that
still.
lace just, okay, I'm trying. Ah,
There we go.
Really pretty.
there you go. It's doing better.
Oh, that is so
But
beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so cute. And just
Yeah.
the little roll on the neckline and the sleeves and then of course the bottom,
Yeah.
it just fits her really, really well.
I think
Wow.
it'd be cute as a yoke on a T top too, Ron,
It
for
would.
Yeah.
an adult,
Mhm,
short sleeve.
mhm.
Maybe
Let me
drop
ask,
sleeve and just
I
do a
noticed
lace pattern.
in the comments for Suzanne's knit along, someone said my voice was muted, and I am using these earbuds that for the first time. Is my voice muted, do you think, or is it normal?
It seemed muted for everybody, Frank.
So is it
On
muted now?
Suzanne's. It's not now.
Not
It's not,
now.
oh, so it's
when
not
you
my
were-
earbuds.
No, I
It's
think it was your
something,
connection with Suzanne through the
I
YouTube.
see.
Because Fatima was muted also. Her voice was very soft and kind of weird
I see.
when she was talking. So I don't think it was you.
Okay.
Oh,
I
you
see
put on-
Sinclair's hand is up.
Yeah. Hi, Frank. It's Diane Sinclair.
Yes. Oh, Diane,
I don't know
I'm
if you
sorry.
remember. Yeah.
Yes, now I do.
If you remember the problem I thought I was going to have with
Oh,
the
remind me,
shoulders.
I've done with so many problems. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yes, you
I
were
thought they were
concerned
going to
about,
be too short.
that's right.
And you suggested that I just keep knitting and see where it goes. So I did, and I wanted to just show you.
Perfect. Perfect. Oh, that's beautiful. I love
And
the
how does-
stripes.
Well, that was a little bit of a challenge for me. I've never done just 2-row stripes before. So joining the yarn was fun. I've watched a lot of videos. I think I'm getting the hang of it now.
Oh, it's beautiful.
But I love it. I think if I make another one for my husband, though, I think maybe the 4-inch ease would be better than a 2-inch. Not sure if it makes that much difference.
You
Like
mean you wanted to
this
fit
one, I
looser
went-
on him?
Yeah, I think
I
I
see.
do.
Is that also for your husband?
Yeah.
How does it fit? Has he tried it
It
on?
is, yeah, he has it. It's snug.
I
But
see.
he likes it, but if it doesn't fit him, I'm sure I'll find somebody that it fits. But I love the sweater. I love the pattern. I love all your videos. It's just been great.
Oh, terrific. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing, Diane.
Okay.
Question, if you don't mind, and sorry, I can't even figure out how to put my hand up on the computer.
Who's speaking?
This is Joe Ellen.
Joe Ellen, that's
Yes.
okay.
The
There you are.
oh, I don't need to see
Hi.
that much of me, but
No, we like to see you. That's okay.
no makeup. Go away.
All right, if you don't like it, I can remove the
No,
spotlight.
that's all right. That's all right.
Okay.
I want the lady that was just on with her striped sweater, and I also saw
Yes.
another striped sweater earlier with Suzanne. I haven't quite figured out how you are matching up those stripes on the sleeves so well with the stripes on the body of the sweater. Is there a little trick going on there I'm unaware of?
Cindy
or-
can answer
it-
that question.
I can. Let me grab, and I've got one here that I can
Get the
kind of show
sample
you.
sweater you
Let me
did
grab
and
it.
tell her what you did.
Only thing I could think of was like when you make socks on a magic loop and you do them at the same time. Or
I
maybe
see.
they're
Nope,
doing
I didn't do them
that.
at the same, I didn't do them at
No.
the same time. This was for my grandson, so I gotta go back, so it's real huge. And what I did was I did a specific number of the light gray and then a specific number of the dark gray. And I had done that in the body also so that they do match up. Now, when you're doing the early part, you just are, of course, going all the way around. So you don't,
Right.
everything's there. But then I just kept track of, it was 13 rows and 11 rows and 13 rows and 11. And so you just, I just recorded what I did.
Okay. Okay. Just
So that
paying
then they
attention.
matched. But no, I did each sleeve made separate from, everything was done
Me
separate.
too.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
So I
did-
just wrote it down, paper and pencil.
Yeah, I did the same. I
Mm.
knew where I started them on the body, and then when I got to the sleeve, I started them in the same point. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
counted.
And you know where you start the sleeve. You separate the sleeves from the body, and they are at the same place on the body and the sleeve. So you can start counting from that point. If that's what you
And I
do.
did. Yeah.
That's what I did too.
All right.
And
My
you can
next
you
one.
can either put in a removable stitch marker, or you can use these little teeny weeny dental elastics, or just a little piece of yarn that you tie in for keeping that in. And I leave those in until the sweater is done. And
Yeah.
then
So you're
I
talking
can
about
for sure
marking
for
the-
easily right where the underarm is, so that
Uh-huh.
then I can easily measure where it's kind of like it's, do so many inches or whatever. I can
Yeah.
measure that real easy. And I'm not kind of like guessing, is this really where it was? If I put
Yeah.
it in right when I do that first row, I know where it is.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
I slice up a straw. You just take a straw with scissors.
Oh,
and
that
don't
would work
tie a
too.
Ziploc because they fly around, but you can get a bazillion out of one straw. Just make sure it's a big enough straw that fits over your needles, and then you can leave it right in and cut them out later.
Mhm.
I have
I
one
use
other
the
situation.
dental elastics.
Yeah, that's what I
I
use.
put them in on every row that I do the increase. So
Mhm.
that helps me keep the increases at the right distance apart as I go down the sleeve.
Mhm.
And then I cut them
What
all
is a
off at the
dental
end.
elastic?
Hang on.
Braces.
A little tiny
Oh,
rubber
the
band
rubber
that people
band, the
use
little
on
On the
braces.
braces.
Yeah,
Hand
little
brace.
tiny circle.
Okay, Frank, do you want to show?
Oh,
There you
can I?
go.
I'm going to screenshot
Look at that.
There
They're
you go.
little orthodontic elastics. If you have any grandchildren or children that have braces, you can get it from them, but you can also get them at Amazon for very, very inexpensive.
Wow, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I
and
didn't have
the
any of those
quarter
lying
inch,
around.
the quarter inch size works perfectly fine for like worsted weight and smaller. You don't
Okay.
need to get the real huge ones.
Okay.
Or you can
Thanks.
get
Thanks, Cindy.
these little secondhand looking ones on Amazon plastic. I got like 500 of them for.
Oh yeah, it's a zillion at a time. Of course,
Yeah.
I've used a lot of them too.
500 in the bag for like $10.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yes.
Those work too.
Has anyone run across, may I speak once more?
Sure. Who's
Without raising
speaking? I'm
my
sorry.
hand.
Joe Ellen.
Joe Ellen. Okay.
I will
Where-
find a way to raise my hand. My son will show me later. Has anyone had the issue of when you're knitting for like your 6-year-old grandson, which is my first sweater here, that they come in every day wanting to know the status of their sweater? I was, oh my gosh. I have to show him my sleeve and what I have to do and to go the next sleeve in the bottom. He is so excited. He's going to wear it, I'm sure, the first day of school when it's like 104 degrees outside.
Well, count yourself blessed that he's so excited that Granny's giving him a handmade sweater.
Oh yeah, I've got
I could tell you, my mom crocheted my sister-in-law a blanket, and you know how long it takes to handmade
yeah.
crocheted blankets and stuff. My sister-in-law used it as a wet pad for the dog's food bowl.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
They just don't realize.
So
Yeah.
my mom's like, we're like, well, okay, the sister-in-law can do whatever she wants with it now that it's hers, but now that we've seen how she treats it, it's like, yeah, you're not getting anything else from us.
I'll rethink
Jason, I
that one.
believe you're new to our weekly Zoom. Is that right? Is this your first time in this
Yes,
weekly
it's
meeting?
my first time coming here. I'm
Well,
knitting crochet
welcome.
tiger.
I'm sorry?
Yeah,
You're
I'm
knitting crochet tiger. I see that also in your name. That's right.
Yeah. I've been
So,
watching Suzanne's
yeah.
channel for about 3 years now, learning how to knit from her.
She's a great teacher.
Oh yes,
She truly is.
she's one of the top. I'd have to say top 5 tutorialists on YouTube for knitting.
Yes.
She's up there with Arne and Carlos and Stephen West and
And Phrancko.
Watch Barber Knits and Very Pink
No,
Knit.
I'm not in the same category. I cannot let you go with that. I still think I'm a beginning knitter. I have to keep telling myself, oh, not everybody thinks that.
Oh, no, Frank, we're beginning intermediate is what we are. We're beginning
That's right.
intermediate.
The sweaters that
Some
you,
days.
6 years.
the sweaters that you wear are gorgeous.
Well, thank you.
What's the one
Frank, I
called
saw your
wearing
new
today?
one that was in the new Cast On magazine that was just
Yes.
released. The Celtic Challenge. That turned out beautiful.
I'm really pleased with it. Let me see if I can show a picture to
It
everyone.
blocked out. It blocked out fantastically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got to see, where would I find a picture? I know I put them somewhere.
I think there's one on the cast on cover.
Oh, I've got it right here. Here we go.
Frank, while you're looking, what's the sweater called you're wearing today? I don't think I saw that one on your page.
It is on the page. It's also in Cast On magazine. It's the mock cable sweater. I think that's the name of it.
Thank you.
And it goes back a couple of years. Well, since we're talking about it, I'll stand up so you can see it better.
I really
Oh,
like
yeah.
that one too.
That's gorgeous.
Oh, wow.
There
Yeah.
were 3 of these
Gorgeous.
mock
Oh my
cables
God,
that
those
we
are
Oh,
like
that's
to sell.
beautiful.
And
Beautiful.
the reason they're called
Love
mock
it.
cables is that they are not actually cable knits. They are traveling stitches just arranged to look like a cable.
Wow.
Queue for my husband's sweaters to come is much larger now that I followed you.
Oh. So let me quickly show this pattern, and then we have a couple of people who've raised their hands. I'll get to you, Rana, and I think I saw somebody else's hand up a minute ago. Let me see if I can find it now. Ooh. There we are.
There it is. Oh, it's
Ooh.
so beautiful.
Pretty.
That is just magnificent.
Oh my. I love how you have the 2 sets of cables that merge together.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that's what I was going for, so I'm glad it worked.
It's not easy merging cables like that.
No, it took me a month to design that little triangle where they come together, and I'm still not completely happy with it, but it works well enough, and it sets up the cables for going down the 2 sides. So
Very
so
special.
there's that.
Is set in sleeves? Is set in sleeves?
Yes, this is
Yeah.
Phrancko's
It's
seamless
a
set-in
Phrancko
sleeves.
sleeve.
It's a
Yeah.
Phrancko sweater, and I'll also share a secret that if I can stop sharing. The pattern for the cables is in the magazine, Cast On magazine, but you don't have to knit the sizes that are in the published pattern. You could go to Phrancko.com, generate your own sweater, and figure out where to put those cables in it. It's just position the top corner right about here or wherever you want, and then just start working the pattern into your own custom fit sweater. And it will go as long as you make the sweater. It just keeps extending, or you can be shorter or longer depending on your sweater. So
How do you get Cast On magazine? Do you buy it? Like where? I'm in Canada. I don't know.
you go to tkga.org.
TKGA.
.org. That's the Knitting Guild Association.
You need to be member.
You have to
Oh.
join for $25 a year, which I think is a great deal because you get 4 issues of the magazine as they come out. And you also got every back issue that goes all the way back for decades.
Oh.
And there's lots of articles that help you learn to knit better. And you can also sign up for the Master Hand Knitting program and become a certified master knitter, which is what I did, which is how
Or
I,
other classes if you just
And
like
there are
want to
other
take
classes.
basics or taming tension. Some of us are
That's
doing that
right.
right now.
the
Ah,
tension was
tension.
tension one is extremely important.
Tension one is really good.
And it's
Yeah,
taught
I
by
need that.
Binka
Binka
Schwan.
Schwan, who also was the co-chair who reviewed my work and wrote the letter to me for both level 2 and level 3. So I got to know Binka really well remotely first, and I finally met her at a conference or two. She's just a wonderful person. So anyway, everybody
too.
says raves
Thank
about
you.
that class.
You too. You were my reviewer also for my level
Yes,
1.
but not your
Yeah.
co-chair. I didn't write the letter that we came back to you. I was just one of the reviewers.
No.
So Rana, you have a question.
Yes, congratulations on that gorgeous sweater. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I wanted to tell Fatima how great her sweater demonstration was and her instructions and what she did around the neck. It really is tremendous, and you did a great job.
Thank you, Rona. So this is a sweater of Frank. So it's
Stand up, show it off.
Yeah. Can do it.
It's absolutely wonderful.
It is. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that.
Oh yes, that is a gorgeous sweater.
Yeah, I transformed for summer the project. I go to start the winter one with the same. Maybe I change the color still. I don't know. I'm thinking about because maybe it's not enough for what I have for the garment, and maybe I have a gray amount and I maybe mix together with this. And I'm not sure yet if I continue to make the saddle or if I go to make a normal one like the first one. I'm still thinking about that because, sometimes I go back and change.
Fatima, will you talk a little more about the neck treatment? I know you did the provisional cast on as you were doing. Yes, but then when you finished the sweater and then went to use those provisional stitches, what did you do then? Because it's not a rib. What is it?
Can you hear me well? Because Deb
Yes.
said that she could not hear me very well.
We can hear you.
Okay. I had like this. I made the provisional cast on like this in the beginning, and then I instead to increase the stitches, I pick up one stitch
right
on the chain to make this without. Then you don't see here the increase.
Right, it makes a really neat line. It's just lovely.
Yes, it's why I like more. And then I pick up the stitches again, the live stitch, and I was making Chanel picot, but I didn't like the picot bind off. It's not really completely perfect. So what I did the other way around. I cast on a Chanel cast on with the same number of stitches that I had around. And I need four rows in garter stitch, and then with a kitchen stitch I put all together around here and here.
Okay.
And on the bottom as well.
Yeah, it's just lovely.
Yeah, and the point was here was a little bit tricky because was 232 stitches and to make the kitchen stitch of that with a yaw
Yes.
long
Oh,
thread.
that would be really hard.
I do
Very
it every
challenging.
sweater, and it is very challenging. But
And
you
it
start,
is.
and,
It's
then, and
like,
you put the
oh.
needle in, and then you pull and pull and pull and
Yeah,
pull and pull
yeah,
and pull,
yeah.
and then you tighten, then you put it in again.
Yeah.
Mm.
A
And
lot of
yeah, and when it's wool, is easier because this is cotton and bamboo,
Mhm.
and the strands are not completely twist. And
Oh,
halfway,
yeah.
I thought that my strand was over. I said, oh, I need to weave all of this at the hand, but went well. I was more careful the last part and went well.
Mhm.
But I
Oh,
must say
good,
that
good.
I spent one day, completely one day, just to finish the button. Just
Oh, it is beautiful though. Thank you.
Thank you so
So,
much.
yeah,
Thank you, Fatima.
that it's okay.
Bradley, you have a question?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. I just, not really a question. I just wanted to say thank you for last week when you redid my pattern for me with the V-neck. And I did get a chance to start the sweater.
Oh,
And I love it. I will say the V-neck is a lot easier than the saddle shoulder. I had no idea.
Is that
But
right?
it's a lot
Is it?
easier. Yes. Yes.
I
And I
didn't-
think
I
it's
didn't
because
know
I
that.
don't have to do magic glue. So I can just, it goes a lot faster because I can just work on one
Well, you
cable.
still
But
have
this
to
is
do it to get around the shoulders the first couple of times, don't you?
I didn't.
Oh.
Maybe because it's thick yarn, it's bulky. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's because the yarn is bulky enough.
Or maybe I didn't do it right. I don't know.
No, you
Well,
did it right. It's fine.
yeah, it looks fine, but
But it will be
yeah.
dependent on your
good.
gauge and your tightness and kind of all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
whether you have to
That's
do it.
right.
Oh, that's turning out, it's beautiful yarn.
It's
is.
cute.
Yeah.
It
Well,
is.
and I had originally wanted the cow neck, and I've changed my mind. I'm really glad I have a V-neck. I'm just gonna stick with
I
it.
do.
It's a
the book.
lot itchier. It's a lot scratchier than I thought it would be. So I'm gonna have to wear a regular shirt under it. I can't do a camisole or anything like that. So anyway, it's working out well, and I appreciate it. Just wanted to thank you.
Ron, were you
pretty.
making a comment?
Oh, I just said that when I'm using a bulky gauge, I'm generally able to just turn the corner without going in.
I see. You all hear that? Twice Siri has decided to talk to me and say, "What do you want, huh?" Do you hear
I didn't
that?
hear it. I don't
Oh,
hear
good.
it.
I'm glad you don't hear it. It's like very distracting to me. Go away, Siri. Go away.
You feel valuable.
Rana, do you have a question? I see your hand is up.
No, I forgot to put it down.
Oh, okay. That's fine too.
Frank,
I just-
Siri talk to me.
Did I?
My Siri.
Yes.
Siri!
Magic words. No, 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 no.
Siri!
She's not sure she understands. Which is the
Oh,
funny thing.
the little grandkids, they always do. It's like, hey, Google. And then they're starting to tell what they want to have happen. Oh, it's funny.
Would anybody else like to show us their progress or have a question?
I will. It's Sidra.
Sidra.
So this is supposed to be
Oh.
a Henley as a cardigan.
Uh-huh.
Oh, your color work is
nice.
lovely. And I
Thank
like that
you.
yarn. Mm.
It's the Henley, but you're turning it into a cardigan by not
Yes.
closing the front. Oh, that's
Right.
great.
Mm.
My daughter will be very
hold
happy.
it up more. You didn't hold it up long enough.
Oh,
We
sorry.
need to really see it well. And show us the
Oh,
color
lovely,
work at the
lovely.
bottom.
Mhm.
Uncurl that a bit. Oh,
Oh,
wonderful.
that's lovely.
Yeah.
So on the bottom
Really
along
nice.
the pockets is going to be that.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh.
What kind of pockets do you intend to put on?
I'm just going to do I guess a placket I guess, you know,
Like an
and this is
actual-
gonna be the ribbing. So I got to swatch to figure out how to do it.
Oh, the
Oh.
ribbing's cool too.
Thank you.
What yarn is that has all that variation in the gray
It's
or whatever? It's beautiful.
done by Stunning Strings. It's their luxury yarn.
Mm,
So yeah,
lovely.
bought it a couple of years ago at Stitches in Stitches West.
Very fun.
Thank you.
Oh, Frank, did you get any swatching done?
I was just going to say that since we're talking about swatching. Ron sent me some sample yarns to get started with the actual colors I want to use. And I have a little bit of a swatch here to show you.
Mm, oh, that's pretty.
Oh, yeah.
And believe it or not, the stitch here is exactly the same as the stitch here.
You're kidding.
You would never know.
And it's a
Uh-uh.
4-row stitch. It repeats every 4 rows. And I do helical knitting and use a different color for each row. And it turns this into that. So I'm going to have this at the top. Then I'm going to have a band of that down the chest, then go back to this for another band, and then stockinette the rest of the way. That's my current plan anyway. But this is just the swatch, so I might change my mind before it turns into a
That's
sweater.
beautiful.
So the colors turned out okay. Once
The
you
colors are great, Ron. I really
Good.
appreciate your suggestion on those colors and
That is wonderful.
providing the yarn. This is actually dyed by Ron. Ron's also a dyer. So,
I'm a full service fiber guy.
yes, yes. And
Fatima
he
dyes
serves a
too.
delicious barbecue too.
You do that.
Can you guys put a link for your dyed yarn in the chat for me?
Yes.
Ron, would you put that in?
I
Yeah.
would be more than
Fatima, do you have a website too, or do you just dye for yourself?
No, I just dye for myself. I can show you the last package.
I like to buy yarn.
And it's a great yarn base too, Ron. I really love working with this yarn. It's
yeah.
a combination of nylon and merino. It's 15% nylon and the rest is merino.
It has a very good body. It has a very good stitch definition. And the yarn itself. Oh, there's Fatima.
Try the yarn you showed
Oh,
earlier.
just a minute. Spotlight. There you are. Oh,
Ooh,
aren't they gorgeous?
beautiful.
Oh,
Look at
wow.
those.
Mm.
And you dyed all those yourself, Fatima?
Yes, I done myself. So this is okay. This is with plants.
Plants.
This is what you call saffron. This and
Saffron.
saffron. And this is with
Coffee, huh?
Sure.
sorry,
Background noise.
and oh, I don't remember this.
In Portuguese?
I don't remember the English name of this. And these are with not chemical and the blue one as well. So, and I just play. I like to play, and I do sometimes. And I did also this. That
Ooh,
is
that's
what
pretty
I'm.
color.
This is my satin sleeve call with Suzanne. That is part done.
Mm, lovely.
Oh, that's so nice.
So, and because one of the yarns are, one of the balls were darker, so I made edge around the dark color, and here this is based on the vintage pattern that I found. And so I'm changing, and this is the yarn, the yarn.
Beautiful.
It's just lovely. So beautiful.
And the blue is dark blue
I did 4 balls, I think, for 200, and I go to make Gansei in September.
I've been, speaking of Ganses, in my mind, I have to imagine that the next time I try and muck with a Phrancko, I'm going to do a Gansey style.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking of a way, because the way this is shaped, it would be very easy to put in. And then there's room, if you just cast on the stitches and reduce them, to put the underarm gusset of a traditional Gansey to get that look. So something tells me I might try that, but I'm making myself finish the sweater I'm working on, which
Good for you.
I've been a little bit whiny about to myself.
I want to start in September. I made a sample, a very small sample, and worked quite well with the book of Beth Russell. And so in September, I have in my agenda to start. I don't know when I finish, but I will start.
My sweater's about to go on another trip with me. If I make myself do it, I can get about 2 inches knit on it a day before I just start chewing the furniture. So coming along, I'm about 4 inches probably from finishing my getting down to my hem, because of course I want it 32 inches long for some fakakta reason. But I'm tall, and I wear long t-shirts, and I want it to be a little longer than my t-shirt. But I'm nearly there, and so I'm weighing what kind of pockets to put in, which is why I asked. I wanted to. Has anyone else put pockets in? Have you done one with pockets, Fatima?
Where I did in
This has
in
pockets.
in this one, not. No, I have no pockets here.
Okay.
No.
How about in your ITAC sis?
Now in the Cs also, I'm not doing this. It's no, it's a plain one.
Oh.
Also, the iTag Sis is a bottom up, not a top down.
No, it's a button up.
Right, but
Yeah.
this is a top down. So Suzanne's supposed to be doing some videos on it. I talked to Suzanne.
But she has also the pockets to go up and to go down, because she has in the different calls, she has a different way of and in the last one she has different kind of pockets for different kind of just diagonal, go up from the side. She has 3
I'm
or 4
comfortable
options.
making pockets. I just haven't decided what style pocket I want.
But in this one that I go to do now, the new Frank sweater, I go to put pockets.
I think I'm gonna do like a split hoodie diagonal pocket in the corners.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet how I go to do. Depends when I go there, when I arrive there, and I will do.
Probably because I just don't want to sew a pocket on.
Or do an afterthought pocket?
Yeah. I didn't put yarn in for an afterthought, but I mean I can cut yarn out and pull out a row to make an afterthought pocket with no problem. But the way when you knit the tube down from an afterthought pocket, I just don't like the way they hang at the edge, because I'm putting it on the button band edge of the cardigan, because that's where I put my hands when I'm wearing a cardigan, and they get floppy under there unless you tack them.
Donna, I don't believe I've seen you here before. Is this your first meeting?
No, I've been here, but I just don't talk.
Oh,
I
well,
just
what are
listen
you
to
doing?
everybody.
Tell us what you're working on.
I'm working on your sweater for my husband, but I use this stripe. It's going to be just a crew neck.
Wonderful.
Except now, look what happened when I got to the sleeve.
What happened?
The self-striping yarn.
Oh, it's
Yes,
self-striping yarn. Oh,
yes,
of course.
but he likes it still, so I'm continuing on with it. So
I see. Oh, right. I hadn't really thought about using self-striping yarn and what that would do when you go from a really wide circle to a narrower circle on the sleeve.
well, this is what happens.
That's
So
what happens. But actually
but
I
that's
think it's a
okay.
wonderful effect. I really love it.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
beautiful.
Something new I've learned now. So
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing, Donna. I put you on the
I
spotlight,
like
but I
just
thought,
listening to everybody.
well, we like hearing from you too.
Oh,
And we like
thanks.
seeing your work and your progress and what you're doing. That's really wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Does anybody else have a question? We have about 10 minutes left. Question? Something to share?
I can share where I am with my sweater. I've had to stop and start and redo, but and I have been very busy working, but well, I don't know that you can see it.
Yes, we see it. It looks perfect.
And of course, I put little markers to tell me what I was doing when. I take terrible notes about everything I do, so I don't get lost. But I'm enjoying it a lot, and I got a new pair of Haya needles that are sharp, which help with the increases a whole lot.
Oh
So,
yeah. Oh yeah. I wouldn't
Yeah.
do any. I wouldn't.
But
mess
it's
with
a lot
that
of fun.
Sharp
Yeah.
needles. It's a lot easier with sharp needles when you have to get in those little tiny
No
spaces.
kidding.
You've put the twisted the
Yeah.
strand between.
Yeah. So it's fun.
Well, thank you for sharing, Kay. And I saw that you volunteered to be a test knitter for one of the scoop nets.
Yes, I'd be happy to just
lower neck.
even just do the neck
If you
part.
just did the neck part, that'd be great.
I'd
That's
be
what
happy to do that. I love because it's good practice.
And Cindy also volunteered to do it. And
I said I would, Frank, but I heard you say you had lots of people
who's speaking? I'm
offering.
sorry.
It's Sue. I'm sorry.
Oh, Sue, yes.
So if you want just someone else just to do the neck part, I can. If you have enough people, that's fine.
I think we have enough.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, I have 4 people who have volunteered besides you, Sue, and I really only needed 1. And
Okay.
then the other thing
When it's
is,
ready, I'll buy it and do it.
that'd be great. You may not have to buy it because I might just, if you bought the crew neck to begin with, I might just put it up in a way that you can switch back and forth between the different necklines as an introduction to the process, and then later make it a separate pattern. Make them 2 separate patterns. One is a deeper crew neck and one is a scoop neck.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the scoop and the lower differ. That's a great idea.
It'll be interesting to me to see how it looks when you test knit it.
Exactly.
Frank, I did see a question in Suzanne's live with you earlier today that I don't think got answered unless I missed it. Someone was wondering if Suzanne could actually show where the measurement for you is done for the neck. Not the circumference, not,
that's right.
not
I
all
did
the way
see that.
around, but do you have, can you?
That was me.
Yeah, I don't have any specific place. Just take the full circumference of your neck with a tape measure. Does that
So
make
the only
sense?
measurement we need for you is all the way around. It's not.
Yeah, all the way around. That's right. That's right.
Okay.
And
I'm assuming you do that from the largest part or where the sweater is going to sit.
Suzanne does have a video of how to measure or get measured, where she shows all that.
And she talks about how to measure the width of the neck. And you can do that. And but you can't put in the width of the neck for my website. You put in a circumference, then check the schematic that is shown to you before you purchase the sweater. Always check that schematic, by the way.
Yes.
And make sure everything on it is exactly what you thought it was going to be. So when you put in your neck circumference, the program translates that into a neck width, which shows in your pattern.
Okay.
And soon it will also show the depth. And the depth is not, especially for the crew neck, the depth is nowhere near as big as the width. It works. This is the short crew neck that I really like it. And I put in 17 inches for my neck, and it generated this neckline for the crew neck. So that's all. You just measure like you'd measure for a man's shirt, I guess. I don't know how women buy their shirts, but men buy them by neck size a lot of times.
Yes, I think
take measure around your neck and see where it lands. And if you want a larger neck, then tell the program you've got a bigger neck than you actually have. It's okay to lie to the program. You get what you want. And you can just adjust the width exactly that way. Look at the schematic, see how wide it is. If it doesn't seem wide enough, go back and put in a larger circumference or a smaller circumference. The width shown on the schematic, however, does not include the ribbing. So keep that in mind as well. And 8 stitches of ribbing is usually about a half or 3/4 of an inch for sweaters that I do. But there's also an alternate neckline that Suzanne suggested women might prefer, which is a rolled neckline, where you simply purl 2 stitches around and then bind off. And it curls, and it's a shorter neckline. A shorter ribbing. So, and it's also more decorative, I believe. Rana, your hand is up. Is it still up from before, or are you still asking another question?
No, it's up again. That was me
Okay.
that asked the question at Suzanne's about the circumference of the neck, and she
I
didn't
see.
quite answer the question.
Right. It's hard to see all the questions in the chat, and she missed some, and I missed some too.
This is going to sound really dumb, but I didn't realize that the circumference of the neck is the same distance between the top of your shoulders and the arm.
Oh, it is for the crew neck.
Yeah.
That's
So now,
why it's short. And for the other one, it has to go beyond the start of the shoulder sleeve caps. And so the pattern is more complicated because you have to do shoulder shaping and neckline shaping simultaneously. I don't find that any harder, but some people find it just too much to keep track of. Well, I'm doing this many, I'm doing decreases, or increases here on this row, and I'm also doing no increases or increases on the shoulder. And you just have to keep it track of where you are and what you're doing.
but it's the end result that you want. Now that you're working on the crew neck, and that's always been my dissatisfaction, if you will.
I think you were the first person to raise it, Rana, and you were not the only one. But once you raised it, then there was a chorus of agreements. And I found out women like deeper crew necks than men. That's what I've learned. Yeah. And so I have to provide it. And since I did provide the deeper one, I decided to do a scoop neck as well. And I got the sizes from Amy Herzog. Somebody, was it one of you, sent me a message and quoted Amy Herzog, who said the round neck should be at least 3 inches in depth from the shoulder. And the scoop neck would be 5 or more inches. So I made it 3.5 inches and 5 inches, or approximately 3.5. It varies depending on various things.
Terrific. My first sweater is out in the patio outside. I keep checking it every once in a while to see if it's dry yet. I just can't stand it. I want it now.
How long have you been waiting? When
Since
did you do-
yesterday. It's very
Yesterday.
heavy.
Oh,
Yeah,
it must
and
be
it's not,
because usually 24 hours is enough.
yeah, not quite yet. And of course, it's double thick because you got a front and a back. So every once
That's
in a
right.
while, it's like a pancake. I have to turn it
You go
over
turn it.
because I want that. Exactly. So now I don't know whether to get the V-neck or wait for your fix on the crew neck.
I
Can you
trust
hurry
that will
up,
be
Frank?
coming soon. I would guess somebody's going to knit the top of the sweater and tell me, yes, the pattern looks right. And then I will have tested everything else to make sure that nothing breaks when I put it out there, which is the other fear I have that nobody can help with except me. And I will do all of that within the next week. I hope by next Saturday, we will have that pattern live. By the way, next Saturday, I will be in Washington, D.C., so I'll be Zooming from a hotel room. And the following week, I will be in South Carolina. And I'll be Zooming from wherever I am in South Carolina at that time.
Frank, I have a
Terrific.
question.
Suzanne is not going to
Pardon?
hold her knit along next week. I hope you all heard that if you're attending that.
Oh.
But I will still be holding mine.
Thank
Who
you
had-
so much.
Who was saying something or had a
This
question?
is Joellen again.
Oh, yes.
Um,
Hi.
I was curious, are you keeping all these patterns? And I'm sure you're going to have thousands and thousands as time goes on a database so that, I don't know, that they can be reprinted, or is this something you, after we purchase
Which
and get it?
patterns are you referring to?
This one? the ones that you make for us that you print out. I'm doing the V-neck.
That you go to the website and you can get any of the patterns that are available.
Right, I know, but
there's
like,
4, but so what? There's 4 patterns, and then there'll be 2 more eventually. I mean, next week.
right, but like we make them for our individual sizes. Do you keep
Yes.
those
Oh,
patterns?
they're all in the database. Yeah.
Well, that's going to get big here one of these days, you know.
Well, I hope so. That
Yeah,
would be good
I bet it
news.
I'm sure it will.
That would be good news.
Yeah.
Yes, the database is set up so that it can expand over time if it needs
Yeah.
to be.
Okay.
That will be a real good problem for me to have.
Yeah.
Just don't forget your pattern number.
Right.
No, all you
Right.
have to do is log in, and
Yeah.
your patterns are listed on the page that says where you click sweaters. In fact,
Uh-huh.
it's the first page you see after you log in. It'll go and it'll show you all the patterns you've created. And when you create a new one, you can put in the same recipient, and all the measurements for that person that you've already entered will already be in there. So
Mhm.
they are all in the database too, and they're saved. So
Well,
it's
those-
all associated with your account.
Those lower numbered patterns, one of these days will be on Antiques Roadshow, and they'll say, I got one, a
Yes.
single digit numbered Phrancko pattern.
Oh, I don't think anybody has those but me, but yeah, the 2-digit number ones will be very valuable someday. Well, it is 3:32, so it's time for us to say so long for another week. And it has been wonderful to spend this time with you, both in Suzanne's knit along and today here. How wonderful.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you,
See you
Frank.
next
Bye-bye.
week. See you next
Bye-bye.
week. Bye-bye. See you all. Bye.
I'm trying to get better at posting these on Ravelry, and there is a forum group where I post them eventually, but sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 days to get it up.
Great.
See you next week.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
I think I did.